Well, it actually happened. The trailer for The Vulva, which I put out just a couple of hours ago from recording this, was removed and I got a community guideline strike for, obviously, nudity and sexual content. Now, I wasn't super surprised by this, and I'll get into why here in a minute. You know, it happens. This kind of stuff just happens. This isn't my first community guidelines strike, but it's my only active one on the channel right now, so my channel's not in any danger of being like full on deleted right now. But the video was removed, and it's not coming back, unfortunately. But again, this thing happens. I was going pretty far lately, especially with how much stuff I was keeping in videos, how much stuff I say, but I wasn't really showing anything outside of maybe this thumbnail. But I guess with this one, I pushed it just a little too much. Maybe it was the thumbnail, maybe it was the actual content of the video. There's no real way to know since YouTube doesn't really like to be specific with these things. But I do have a plan. Here's what we'll do. I'll release the vulva with its story components on Patreon for free. You don't have to pay for it. I want to stress this. You can embed the video directly in Patreon, and since most people on Patreon have to set these things up with like a credit or debit card anyway, and they have to go through a more difficult process of creating an account, I'd say most people on Patreon are 18 and up anyway. I'll do that, and then I'll put the basic component of the video, meaning just me explaining what the vulva is, the actually important information. That'll go on YouTube. I've actually been thinking about doing this anyway. I mean, at least we know where the line is now with this kind of content, and that's okay. Like, yeah, the video got deleted, but I'm genuinely not that upset. I'm glad that I finally kind of have a better idea of how far I can go with the drawings of my characters, and I guess that's the line. You have to push until you get pushed back, since YouTube doesn't have consistent rules regarding these things. I actually do. I'll defend YouTube a little bit here. They're not perfect, but their self-rating system for videos is decently good. It's at least very specific. It's just not specific enough to distinguish what is drawn nudity with, they might be showing genitalia in the video, but not in a sexual context, or they might be showing something in a sexual context, but no genitalia, which is worse. Who's to say? The content guidelines aren't that specific. I wish they were, because I really need to know. But the system for rating videos isn't perfect, YouTube, I have to say, because, fun fact, I actually rate every video I upload as not safe for advertisers. On the adult content rating, I go all the way down to the furthest it'll go. The most adult content. I don't try to dodge the censors ever. I'm always very honest about, what's in the video. Clicking that third option does constitute you not really making any money, only from YouTube Premium and like super thanks and whatever. No ad revenue. I literally tell YouTube not to give me any ad revenue for these videos because I don't really care about the money anymore. But the funny thing is, this has happened for every video since I came back. YouTube will step in and override my rating and declare it safe anyway. Like, I'm not complaining, but this is just an example of how the system isn't super consistent and kind of confusing. I'm harder on myself than YouTube is, but I know that's not going to matter if, I have to fight for my channel's life one day. This isn't a negative video. I know it's getting kind of negative. No. In the future, I'm going to scale back a little bit. I won't go quite as far with my depictions of sexual situations, even if it's only implicitly sexual. For context, I'm spoiling the vulva a little bit here, but if you saw the trailer, or if you didn't see it, it was basically two female-presenting characters who are friends agreeing to a situation where it's not explicitly sex, but they want to kind of play around a little bit, which is a really natural and grounded way of two people exploring each other. It's not like that uncommon. And that was the idea with this. Of course, part 2 of the story is them getting into said situation and it gets sexual. That's the story I want to tell. And I still really like the story, which is why I'm going to put it up on Patreon. The story parts, at least. Remember, the main video about the vulva will be on YouTube. But honestly, if I'm going to be honest with myself, I do need to be better about separating what's educational from what's purely erotic. I've gotten some comments about this recently. I know there's some haters down there, but, that's any YouTube video or channel really. But I do listen to feedback. And I have gotten a lot of feedback saying things like, hey, is this educational? It seems kind of gratuitous. I wouldn't have the balls to put this stuff up there. I miss the education stuff. What is this, just talking about stuff? I do think they're both necessary. I've had a lot of insanely positive responses to the new stuff where it's a little more me just talking about stuff and, pushing it a little bit further. Some people do like that, but a lot of people don't. So I'm going to try to do better about separating what's sex education and what's sex positivity. If you didn't notice, I actually reorganized the playlists on my main channel page to be explicitly one playlist for sex education, which is videos like these. I distinguished it from videos like these, which is sex positivity more so, because they're two different things. A lot of people want both, but some people want just one or the other. But I also need to separate what is important and has educational value, separating that from what's just erotic expression from me, which is a nicer way of saying, I wrote this story for the vulva while I was extremely horny, and you can really see it in the final product. But in the future, no. I'm still thinking about maybe posting some slightly spicier art somewhere, disconnected from the YouTube channel. But for now, I need to just keep that spiciness out of my art and keep it strictly educational. I can still have fun with character designs and, goofy dialogue and stuff like that, but I do need to scale it back when it comes to drawing full-on genitalia and sexual things. So, that's fair. Now, this was a blessing in disguise, this trailer being removed, kind of, because that was the secret second reason to put out a trailer, which is something I almost never do. I wanted to see if the full video was going to be too much for YouTube, and apparently it was. I'd rather the trailer get flagged than the entire video, right? I'm also going to start backing up my sex education videos on Patreon. In case of an emergency, in case my YouTube channel gets deleted, which might happen one day. I don't know, could be soon, could be not soon. I think Patreon allows for like 100 hours of video upload a month. I hope that I can keep those uploads when it goes to the next month. We'll test it out. If Patreon doesn't work, I'll find some other video hosting site and do it there. Again, making money's nice, but it's not why I do this, really. Not anymore. If I'm being honest, the hub for my content shouldn't be YouTube. It should be Patreon anyway. My content just has an easier time existing on Patreon. And if I really needed to, I can make a Patreon that is specifically 18 and up. I know people don't like age verification. Trust me, me neither. So probably I would do something like Newgrounds if I decided to upload erotica. But no, for now, the plan is focus a little more on Patreon than YouTube, scale back some of the sexual themes and sexual art specifically. I can go pretty damn far when it comes to talking about sex. I think that's been pretty well proven with the penis size video and the sex toys video. Those are pretty explicit, and they're fine. I think they're even fully monetized. I think it's just the art that goes a little too far. So that's something that I'm willing to compromise on. I did manage to read some comments on the trailer before it got deleted, and I really appreciate the feedback. Drawing definitely isn't my strong suit, for sure. There were some drawings that were a little rough, and that's because this time I decided to make this story much longer than the last one. I think the actual story portion of the video is over 6 minutes long in totality. It was ambitious. I think my drawing's gotten better over the years, but I didn't really enjoy pumping out over 160 unique drawings for this one, because that's how many there are. It's a big video, and I think the quality suffered a little bit because I tried to be so ambitious with it. Although the quality does pick up in the second half, I think. So, for the videos after the vulva comes out, I'll probably find another way of implementing these character stories, which I do really like, but they need to be implemented a lot better. This will make more sense after you see the entire vulva story on Patreon. It'll make more sense everything I'm saying now. There's a better way to do it than these dedicated segments with voice actors and so many drawings from me, light animation. I'll still want to use voice actors in the future, but it'll probably be in a more limited capacity, if I'm being honest. I would love to do something like I make a video, I include characters in the background of a video, like when I do a drawing like this, where it's just a static image, no dialogue. I do about 9 or 10 of those every video. I'd love to do those drawings with characters, and then maybe outside of the video on Patreon, I make like comic strips of these two characters. It's a lot less ambitious, and it's something that I feel I could execute a lot better, if that makes sense. So anyway, this was a really random, quickly thrown together video. It'll probably have extremely minimal editing, but that's because I want to get it out as soon as possible. So, TLDR, or TLDW, I guess. Thank you for the feedback that I've gotten on that vulva trailer video before it was deleted. Thank you for the feedback from for the channel in general that I've gotten recently. I do take all of it constructively, or at least try to. This was a blessing in disguise. It stinks. You'll still be able to watch the full vulva video, story bits and all, but probably not on YouTube. But at least now I know for sure where the line is with the drawings for the characters. So, anyway, just positive things. Happy Mother's Day. My name is Candles. I love you all. Good night.